G'day friends and fans. Welcome to Dave Talk Stuff. Jane Fonda has gained a lot of fame for being a very controversial figure. And it's a performance of a lifetime. It's a very profitable performance indeed. Now, performative feminism or performative activism are people who adopt feminist behaviours, labels. They engage in the rhetoric. They do so for social capital, reputation, and personal gain. Now, if you look it up on Reddit, Wikipedia, wherever you want your little definitions from, they'll always tell you that it's often superficial. I would say, but from Bernie Sanders to the Obamas to many other sitting politicians on the left, feminism is exactly that. It's a performance, it's a vehicle, but at the end of the day, right, they're engaged in superficial marriages of convenience. Now, we all see the performance recently. Jane Fonda, a lifetime of activism. Now, the thing is, she started as a communist activist already by the age of 15. But she was always the cool girl, the private school girl, the spoilt child who had world trips from the age of 12, who'd been to dance and other performing arts schools before she could walk. She was already in the presence of acting and reading for parts. She was being groomed by many at her father's behest to become the greatest actress of all time. You be the judge. She wanted to always stand alone. She was suffering psychological problems from the traumatic experience of losing her family through divorce and her mother's self-departure from this mortal realm. But I'm telling you, her brand this is the two main things that stick out with every performance, right? Now you got multiple types, right? You have the basic woke performers, okay? These are those who adopt feminist language to build trust, to appear safe, to attract women. This is your Eric Storwell, okay? Your cool girls, okay? The same thing. But then we get to the hard and brass tacks, right? Jane Fonda started as the cool girl, okay? She used the aesthetics of feminism and activism, right? She'd go to a protest, speak at a rally, used her fame to get on stage, and built even more fame from the protest rallies all across the world. And soon, every time she had a new movie, it was activism movie. Right before every movie. She helped create that model of activism today, where you see Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, many other actors, Liam Neeson. Every time Liam Neeson's got a new movie, he's out there. Oh, I've got my candy bar at Darfur. That ad was filmed 20 years ago. I reckon they play it every time. I don't know if it's exactly 20 years ago, but I've seen that ad too many times. Actually, he's reshot the ad recently, I believe. But these performers get paid. So you got the social performers and the corporate performers. On the social side, you've got those who do it for to gain friends, to gain sexual partners, to gain social clout. Okay? This is the activist psychopath. They lack real empathy. They disappear when the hard work needs to be done. They only do the superficial, that which benefits them the most. Corporate performance. Every Pride Day, out come the flags, the next day they come down. The office, Women's Day, the women's marches, they're all there for the cameras and gone just 5 minutes after they do. They hang around just for the autographs. Now, how do you tell a performer from a real activist? Real activists don't put their names on brands, overpriced brands, and every time they have a protest, they always have a product coming. They have a movie coming. And so it's so coincidental. Once is activism. Twice is a coincidence. 3 times is a pattern. Okay? Jane Fonda set a pattern for performance. And it's sometimes very hard to sift and find the real feminists. Because the real feminists, and where you get to the performance versus reality, is the exaggerations. So most of the TikTokers, with their exaggerations and the whining about the pay gap, and they rile up the masses. They're professional agitators. And Jane Fonda is both the performative, the social, and the corporate side of performance activism. Most activists, I would argue, particularly in the West, is a performance. You hate the West, all these black Egyptians, all these ultra feminists who always talk about indigenous communities and people of colour. Where are they? Comfortable, middle class, white suburbans who want to yell, scream, and shout for attention. The old communist who's sitting on a pile of money, Bernie Sanders. Same with Jane Fonda, with her, I don't know what she's net worth. It has gone down. It fluctuates. But her workout industry, net worth, Lifetime Achievement Awards, net worth. And I know the argument for performance. And she says, put on it. Yeah. Her first taste of fame was in the Netherlands. Yeah, when she was at a rally at 15. Yeah, Fonda's of mixed descent, but she initially identified as Dutch, and actually for a while used Dutch, and for a while used to call herself Lady Jane. So you could see, well, I don't know how tentative her connection to royalty really was, but it was tentative, and she did spend a lot of time at various houses in the Netherlands. Try to establish ancestry. Though she never publicly released that result. a lot of these big institutions are very private about their membership as well. And Dutch royal houses are institutional corporations. Being a member of their trading house is an exclusive club. So it's because they make lots of money trading. Okay, but yeah, she traded all right. She traded her gender for money. She traded her looks for career. She traded her activism for fame to gain personal wealth. A lot of people say, again, it's hard to pin down a net worth because results aren't coming up so quick. Because it has fluctuated. So Forbes has re-estimated to be worth about 200 million. Predominantly earned through acting and producing. She also has estimated 100 million in stocks from Ted Turner. But yeah, but one of the reasons is she once held high property in the Beverly Hills, and she's as she's gotten older, her workout videos, of course, she's long been surpassed by her video and workout industry. That was high in the 80s. She was a fan in the 90s. She used her workout franchise to sell both videos and books on female empowerment. And as you know, the book industry, but $10 books haven't changed. If you kept up with inflation, you'd be paying $100 a book. Books aren't that profitable anymore. But when she was doing it, yeah, it was highly profitable. She was one of the reasons why she one of the things why she isn't as so like the estimate is she's worth 400 million, but over the years, right, selling her properties at face value during the economic depression, she's had a few setbacks. But these were all to, she funded her husband's political career. Then, now she's made bad investments. But she has also co-funded media centers and NGOs. Now, these are all why she hasn't paid income tax. This is where people make the mistake that all this money they pour into activism, it's such altruism. Then do it without the tax breaks, do it without the publicity. Don't do it every time you have a new movie come out and a week later, or the week the movie launches, you're out there. You go straight from activism on week 1 to promoting your movie on week 2, right? Yeah. That's exactly what they do, right? They start here, activism, public attention, starts going up, and we have a movie launch. Mark Ruffalo. Many in Hollywood follow the Jane Fonda model. I believe she's the founder of radical performance activism. And this is where performers have gained a lot of social and political clout over the years, and they're literally married at the hip to the Democrat Party. Jane Fonda aligns predominantly with the Democrat Party on many issues, but she has opposed them on war, and that makes a difference. So why not then, I say, well, why don't they align on feminism? Because she's a communist feminist, right? She aligns on the corporate feminism. On the surface, she's a communist feminist, but on the flip side, she's supporting the radical corporate feminist of women in the workplace, women in the media. Shit, this is where all these feminist movies. This is why Jane Fonda isn't so rich. Is that a lot of these feminist movies she has produced and has effed around and finding that. See, she looked at the stats, and you can too. 51, 53. Women have been around 51, 53% for a while. She's looking and saying, well, if men's movies make $1 billion, women's movies should do the same because there's more women. Yeah, but women don't go to the movies for entertainment of the same kind that men do. Men go, oh yeah, booyah, some action, ooh, get him, Arnold, get him. And the woman is going, yes, Arnold, So you're going to get women, you're going to get heterosexual women to go to the movies and go, no, I don't want G.I. Jane. This is why they push lesbianism, right? Pretty much, it's all just sexual aggression, right? Now, Jane Fonda has often been called out about being the fact that she's not a real feminist, and she keeps going, well, I'm just a late bloomer. It took me 30 years to get my head around everything. And I didn't really embrace the movement until my 60s. Previously, I viewed it as just a distraction from my anti-war and other political activism. So she's pushed predominantly high-tax Democrats, right? Why? Because high-tax Democrats fund the arts, okay? This is the grift, the glorious grift that is feminism, communism in the West, right? If she wants to heal the wounds, the patriarchy dealt her, right? She should have, I'm sure, marrying Ted Turner to fatten him up, using social clout to build your video distribution business, to build your to get him to build you a film career, which you already had, but as you're aging, you need a new you need a bit more a bit more boost. Fitness videos, she claims that she empowers women physically, even though $80 million industry is definitely nothing to sneeze at. But as she got richer and the fitness industry exploded with more there are far better fitness influencers out there. And so she took a back seat to that. Writing, she found it too time consuming, so she gave that up to be a producer. Because again, the shortcut to wealth, to go from wealthy to wealthier, right? Once you've made your millions, right? Now you want to go from the wealthy to the wealthier. So you start producing. And political influence is not cheap. So you sacrifice wealth for political influence. So she funds things like Eve Esther's vagina monologues and other tax sinks to help social credit in the sphere that deviates her tax liabilities. She uses these to fund NGOs and other vehicles that she can hitch her wagon to, so that she now has her Jane Fonda Centre for Women instead of the Centre for Women. She admits often that she was weak and hitched her wagon to a man. And look around. 90% of endeavours, you need someone else. All right? As a writer, how I get my book out there? Amazon. Oh, I hitched my wagon to Jeff Bezos. Yeah, she literally, physically hitched her wagon to lots of men. She definitely hitched that wagon many times. And she's definitely into the toy boy era of her life. Just like, Madonna with her 4th or 8th toy boy. every time she gets a new Toy Boy, she launches a new solo single album, whatever it is. You know, does another performative tour of showing off her carefully crafted plastic vagina. Just like Jane Fonda, her plastic surgeon is, bought. I'm not sure if it was a plastic surgeon. I know a plastic surgeon bought one of her mansions that she sold. Probably to pay her plastic surgery bill. But she's also, she got the Jane Fonda climate pack. There's a nice little gift for travelling, around the country. Reproductive health. She has a nice little the Jane Fonda Centre for Adolescent Reproduction in Emory University. Yeah, the words adolescent reproduction should not go together at Emory University. Violence against women is the only cause that I will not ridicule, because that is probably one of the few times she has actually directly funded something, but again, without putting a name on it. But the majority of things that she's done have been centres, right? And we all know about the NGO grift, where they, on paper, write themselves $400,000 checks, and it's all tax-free, and that's a check to herself that then she doesn't have to pay $450,000, or I forget the exact amount. It's like, so instead of paying $495,000 in taxes, you, after all the transfers and that, you get back like $400,000-ish. Someone explained how, there is a little bit you lose, but not much. It's like it's, you have to go through, fees and, administration fees and that, it's all like, you got lawyers and accountants and political donations. So it can actually be as low as $300,000, but to not pay $495,000 in tax to get $300,000 back tax-free, and you think about it, right? You would have $400 million, and you're spending that on, you're spending $1 million a year on 4 or 5 centres, and you're getting 90% of that, and you're getting 90% of that back, or up to 50%, up to 50, up, even if it's 30% back, that's still, you have $400 million, right? You're going to pay, say, $4 million in taxes, and instead you spread it out over all these centres. You get your maximum returns, so you're still just that little bit ahead every year. And after 40 years, you're that way a little bit ahead, because you can ride the economic wave. Although she did it in the 90s, she did have a downturn because, again, rise of fitness gurus, she couldn't keep up with the younger crowd. Less movies, a couple of bombs, or movies that didn't make as much money as others did. And her performance, of course, and she said, "Oh, I've never been late for a show." She's like never missed an Oscars apparently or something. She's gotten all the invites, all the party insiders. She gets even today, all the interviews, all the attention, right? All the attention she could crave. And that's what it is. It's a lifetime of craving attention, right? And again, performative feminism, how to identify it. Focused on being seen as a good person, no hard work involved, like no trench work. Prioritizes the most trendy or marketable or popular issues at the time, instead of drilling the most grueling and ardent work imaginable, And that would be the few times that she's been to centres for violence against women. And this is where I say this is where the real feminism is, not on the streets marching. It's not in City Hall screaming about pay gaps. It's not standing on platforms on a red carpet night saying, remember pay inequality, as you're getting paid millions of dollars to make a movie that, because Nickel Movies made a studio $1 million once, so you demanded $1,000 a week pay, and then we started this new scale system and drove up the cost of movies as for inflation, and now pay yourselves millions of dollars for flops. No. They pat themselves on the back far too often for garbage. And we've been fed garbage so long we rarely see a good movie. And we know it when we see it. But often, it is fleeting. And this is a difference. Feminism is only there when it benefits the individuals. She is never there for a genuine moment that hasn't had the camera on it. She has a Now, there are many other individuals who, over the years, have been highlighted on Reddit for the so-called get the patriarchy. People who say the most outrageous things over the years for attention and activism. It's all the Jane Fonda model. And she's the princess, if not the queen, of performance and performative feminism or performative activism. Right? There hasn't been of course, she's produced and mentored many activists over the years. And I would say her biggest blight on society is the money she's given to Greta, although she's not the only one. The money she's given over the years. And then you say, well, that's proof she's so... no, she has never done anything that has chipped a nail, broken sweat, that has not been to her benefit. And I'm not talking about, sure, she does workouts, she does, I'm not saying that, she hasn't done grueling hours in filming, but a lot of that is standing around and getting cooled off and well fed and subsidised. All filming is subsidised. You know that, right? Otherwise, that's why the performing arts is so performative, right? They are trying to make sure that you do not find out how much money the US government gives every year to the performing arts to keep that industry alive, because the vast majority of its products fail because the vast majority of products performers are overpaid. If you cut Hollywood's wages in half, movies will be profitable again, pay taxes. They always talk about paying your fair share. Well, Jane Fonda pay income tax. You don't see all the big studios. Look at all the big movie losses. Again, it's all... what they do is they have tax accounts to spread these over lots of hedge funds who seem to find it in their heart to say, well, we're going to pay $400 million in taxes. Let's see how much we can get back tax-free through these, centres for the arts. So one of the things you'll notice about these artists is how many of these organisations are all got their name into. But ironically, over the years, the Jane Fonda Centres they're like dime a dozen now. but she definitely laid the groundwork. And as I've pointed out in many videos in the past, she's all like, she's changed her appearance, she's got boob jobs, she's gotten nose jobs, she's gotten facelifts, she's changed her appearance so many times. And she's gotten to the point where she melts. She has to be careful in Hollywood, you know. I'm surprised she doesn't have a, is it a gaffer? Or a grip. No, grip is the microphone. The guy carrying the big reflector normally to highlight the actor, you know, they have the reflector down to get the sheen look onto someone when they're on the red carpet. I'm surprised they haven't got someone carrying the filter to keep the sunlight off that vampire. I'm sure when she was looking for royalty, she made sure to pay a visit to find out if she was descended from Bethany or not. No one is. She didn't have children. The Countess so you shouldn't let these people get to you. The best thing, and why they're all so angry, by the way, the best thing in this world and why they're so angry is taking away USAID. Now, you have to get rid of the NGO. The NGOs are stealing billions in tax dollars every year, and all these monies that go into NGOs go into hedge funds and have accumulated trillions. Google, Facebook, BlackRock, many organisations are built on the taxpayer dollar. Or Amazon, they should all be foreclosed on the national debt and belong to the state. But too many Americans think that's communism. Well, what's the difference between owning it and funding it and then letting someone, when all the profits go to someone else, that means that you've robbed the working class. All these so-called communists, all these socialists, all these activists, they're stealing from you and using your own politics against you to make sure you don't take it back. All these bomb movies, fuck them. Defund Hollywood, I reckon. So, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And please, if you could support the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Sorry, man. This flu just won't go away. Nothing seems to kill it. Like, share, subscribe. Support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon. Buy my books. Buy my merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video. Bye for now.